attention, pay attention!
Alive!
Ah!
Happy Tuesday! It's Steph Requisite here on Proficiency Bonus. Welcome back to the channel. A couple of quick announcements before we get going. First off, as always, I want to thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Exclamation point Little Dragon or exclamation point CCG in chat. We'll give you a link to those websites so you can check them out. If you purchase anything online with Little Dragon Corp, like perhaps some dice, you can use our code BONUS at checkout for 15% off of your order. Thank you, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Second piece of announcement. It's official. Probo is turning 6. That's right, the 6-year anniversary of Proficiency Bonus is
ready for grade school.
It's coming up. It can drink legally in like the Czech Republic, probably.
Somewhere in Atlantis.
Sorry to our viewers in the Czech Republic. I don't know if that's true or not.
At the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, with that guy in his submarine. Anyway, Proficiency Bonus's 6-year anniversary, 6th birthday week, is going to be from July 21st to the 30th. We've got all sorts of special streams going on. We have of course, we'll have Delve Requisite that week. We've got the launch of a new show is going to be happening during that birthday week. As of about 20 minutes ago, I convinced my wife to run a session during the birthday week, which should be a hot disaster.
It'll be wonderful.
It'll be spectacular. So keep your eyes peeled for that birthday week, July 21st to 30th, celebrating 6 years of Proficiency Bonus. We always got stuff to give away during that birthday week, so don't miss it.
You like free stuff? We got it.
You like free stuff? We'll throw it at your face.
Yes.
That's not for about another month. For now, what we're gonna throw at your face is some content. Let's begin. We are in our flashback episode. In present timeline, you guys are at the deepest level of the Hayak Turatas in the Invarian Empire's capital city, trying to steal something. You have come across an individual chained up in that super secret, top secret sub level that apparently Aelar knows from his past, which is what sent us into this flashback. We are witnessing some events that have that transpired. I think we established probably somewhere hazily in the ballpark of a decade ago from the present timeline. A much younger Aelar is in the midst of a crisis. An outbreak of amaranth fever has been sweeping through the local region of the empire in which he was born. The governor of the town, in an attempt to stop the spread of the illness, has instituted some pretty crappy control measures, which essentially equated to the rounding up and internment camping of everybody who is not an elf in the town. Getting this tip ahead of time, Aelar and several others managed to round up a group of non-elven families and flee into Mythlanday across the border. Here in Mythlanday, in the town of Talmark, Aelar has met some rather interesting acquaintances. A peculiar old halfling by the name of Arnold, who is a something of a jack of all trades, something of a Renaissance man, a tinkerer, a scholar, a scrivener, a mender, a medicine man. In a book in Arnold's possession, and with Arnold's knowledge, Aelar has identified that the illness claiming people's lives across the border is indeed this amaranth fever. And it is an illness that the gnomish and halfling people have a traditional medicine for, a cure. The elves just don't know it because they essentially quashed any possibility of what they consider to be lesser races having knowledge of value. Furthermore, Aelar is aware that the key ingredient to the medicine for this fever can be found in the very garden of the governor of the town that he fled. The solution to the problem being right under his nose the entire time, but him not seeing it. Enter Nathaniel and Raxus Thorn, a pair of publicly facing, I guess, a pair of respectable enough businessmen, privately a pair of ne'er-do-well escaped slaves from the Iolcos archipelago, with a grudge against the Ignean Empire and a secret business of disrupting the slave trade and smuggling people to safety out of the Empire's borders. When we last left last week, Raxus and Nathaniel, in overhearing Aelar's conversation with Arnold, basically are hatching a plan to return to Aelar's hometown, to break into the estate of the governor, make off with enough of the amaranthus flower to develop a cure for enough people in the town to stop the spread of the illness, and to have Arnold fabricate that cure and begin to distribute it. Aelar's part to play in this, of course, being that he is the only one of the group of them who have been there before, and he has seen this flower in person. So they need him to get them in. What we'll do for this session, I think, like we talked about off camera afterwards, after last session, I think we'll leave be the sort of mechanic we were testing out last time of like the interjections, in favor for a more standard operating procedure of like letting you guys play characters, like set characters in this. Don't worry about needing a character sheet of any sort. I think largely this is going to be narrative. If it gets to the point where like it's not narrative, and we do need to like roll some dice for some combat stuff, we're basically just going to use like guard and soldier stat blocks to keep it really simple and really like easy to follow. So the outfit that is being assembled here is Nathaniel Thorne. Raxus will not be going. He's staying here to mind their store, their business front. But Raxus Thorne, or Nathaniel Thorne, Aelar, Arnold, who's Zalzaveth is his surname in case it was important. Zalzaveth, and there are 3 spots on the team for 3 other members of this this group, which will be played by the 3 of you. I will pretty much leave it up to you guys, like who you want these characters to be, what you want their whole deal to be. Pretty much keeping in mind that these guys and gals are, essentially like
Bad.
burglars and petty thieves types. Their whole the Thorn brothers are smugglers. As opposed to like I'm the guy what with all the bombs. Like that's not really their style. I guess you could be the guy what with all the bombs if you want to be.
There goes my whole idea.
Does anybody have thoughts on who you are and wanna lead us off here? Somebody has to lead us off.
Debating on the name. Give me a minute.
I should have given you forewarning to come up with names.
I have like 5 names to pick from. I'm half prepared. I just am indecisive.
Roll
My
a
name
dice. If it's
I'm
6,
going-
re-roll.
It's
My name
5,
is-
which is the problem.
Yeah,
My name
well,
is-
if it's 6, re-roll.
My name
Curtis,
is
your name is
Tony Pepperoni, and I am a pizza man.
Tony
No.
Pepperoni.
I'll have him as Tony Pepperoni. That's fine. But I don't know what I'm doing here. Just
Tony
got the name.
Pepperoni, fun fact, I don't know if anybody listens to other D&D podcasts. Tony Pepperoni, the name of a character from Dungeons and Daddies
I did not know.
podcast.
No,
I enjoy
No.
quite a bit.
Yeah, you said that, and my brain
Stolen
went,
IP.
what?
So it is stolen IP. Shout out Dungeons and Daddies, a way more popular podcast than we'll ever.
Look,
be.
I didn't even know. Okay,
It's fine. You
I
can
can
be
be
Tony Pepperoni. I don't care.
I could be Pepperoni Tony.
Distinctly different.
Yep, there you go, Pepperoni Tony. They call me Pep.
They call him Pep. All right, he's Pep.
And I'm his brother Giuseppe.
Christ.
Pepperoni Tony and Giuseppe.
Oh my god.
Look,
If somebody
keep-
watches these
keep it in
last
frame.
the last episode and this episode back to back sometime in the future, they're gonna get like fucking
Emotional
whiplash.
fucking whiplash, yeah. And then there's me who cannot create these dumb characters. I have to be serious.
I just created
Giuseppe Stromboli.
Um,
I guess
My-
I'm also Giuseppe Pepperoni,
just,
the Pepperoni Bros.
oh my god.
putting that in the notes.
Look, I could have been
again.
Tommy Salami. Be glad I'm not.
I'm very glad you're not, because otherwise I just...
Matt,
Go ahead.
I think I need to quit.
Well, I can't blame you. It's fine.
I'll just be playing a tiefling named Inrali.
And
Inrali. Inrali.
Okay, and what race are the Pepperoni Bros?
The
We
real
dwarves.
they're both Calzone.
We're
Calzones.
Calzonies. Calzonians.
dwarves from the Calzone.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're from the
Yes,
Calzonian
perfect.
Mountains. We're dwarves from the Calzonian Mountains.
Yes.
Okay.
And these are just real mountains. They're just called Kazonians. These are just they're called the Kazonian Mountains. And we're dwarves. Yes, we're dwarves. Here. We're dwarves here for.
We're not gonna look too hard into why there are dwarves here because there are canonically not
Okay.
dwarves places in this campaign setting.
Okay, well we're dwarves.
They are dwarves. You get the
We hate
sense.
to sell out
An
our
easy-
suck,
an
the
easy
meat and the
answer
cheese.
is that the thorns broke them all out of where they were. That's the easiest answer.
Sure. Yeah.
fixed it.
You are. There you go. They are ex slaves as well.
Absolutely.
Pep and Sep. the Pepperoni brothers. And in Raleigh, you get the sense immediately that these are probably not these people's real names. As you know, as the
Well, you don't know.
a couple of days of planning goes by, and you are meeting in your in like the camp that you guys have set up outside of the town proper. It's quite late at night. Raxus rolls up in a in like a covered wagon, and he jumps down from the coachman's seat, and these three people like hop out of the back. He introduces you to everybody. This is Pepperoni Tony. Oh, actually, you're Giuseppe Tony. Tony is your last name, Russell.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Pepperoni Tony. So you guys are
Mario Bros.
you guys are Pepperoni Tony and Giuseppe Tony.
I'm putting my tiefling horns. I'm gonna miss some details. I'm putting on my tiefling horns.
Okay, these are the Tonys, and this is in Raleigh. Zep and Pep.
Zep and Pep.
Call me GT.
Oh God.
All right.
Yep.
So we have
Yep.
Pep. We have GT.
Two characters that would have made much more sense in Brahms' backstory than
Yeah.
Aelar's, but whatever.
You know, it happens.
Hey, it's not.
It just
not-
shows that he has a long history of dealing with bullshit.
Exactly, and we're gonna make it work. Watch this.
Look, I was looking for something
watching.
more serious, and then Curtis said he was Pepperoni Tony.
Just because I have a funny name does not mean I can't be serious. Just keep
Oh
watching.
yeah!
Watch
By the end of the session, Pepperoni Tony and
We'll
Giuseppe
have
Tony
this-
are gonna
we'll
have
have
the most
the
tragic
saddest-
stories
You will
ever
have the
heard.
most somber moment in this. Just watch. Just watch.
Wait till they heroically sacrifice themselves.
They-
Well, Aelar's gonna learn Dwarvish somewhere.
Exactly.
So the
Dwarvish is canonically just Italian.
we we return here to the scene at hand with Pep, GT, and Raleigh, and Nathaniel Thorne and Aelar. Aelar, have you told anybody from your town or your mother about what you found out and what you're planning to do?
Just her, just his mother. It
Okay.
it turned into a bit of a loud argument, but quieted down very quickly, and basically he laid it out. I can help people, or I can stay here, and everybody that we know that's there dies. And I can't live with that.
Okay. So yeah, your mother is there then with you as
Oh, I'm pretty
Thorn
sure
and
after
his-
seeing those, hearing those, she's like,
they kind of pile out. Thorn looks to you. He says, "Right, we'll have more time to talk about the plan on the road. Have you got everything you need, lad?" Is this my voice? That's it's a wee bit Scottish right now.
yeah.
I'm a little more of a pirate. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right then. Into the wagon you go. And as you hop into the wagon, your kind of mother comes up and she puts a finger into Thorn's chest. He's significantly taller than she is. So he kind of looks down at her, and she says, "He's old enough that he can make his own decisions, and I trust his judgment. He's doing what he believes is right. So I can't stop him from going with you. But you make sure he comes back, or you're going to answer to me." And he takes a half step back from her. And
Yeah,
he goes-
Aelar's just going, oh.
He takes his hat off of his head and puts it over his heart, and he says, "My good madam, you have my most somber promises that naught will happen to your son on my watch. He is doing good. He's a good lad. and I'll protect him as he were my own. And he puts his hat on his head. He'll be back to you before you know it. And he hops back into the coachman's seat of the wagon. Pep, GT, and Raleigh pile back in, and whoosh, with a snap of the reins, off you go.
Aelar is just looking anywhere but at the other three, because that...
After a little while, Thorn calls from the back. He says, "Oi, you've got a little... I'm getting Scottish again, boys." He says, "Aye, it's quite a ride from here to this little town of his. You might as well take the opportunity to acquaint yourselves."
And Raleigh smirks at Aelar, and her teeth are all pointy, and her tail whips behind her. But she's actually trying to be sweet. She just doesn't know how to look sweet.
He doesn't look scared of you. If anything, beyond the embarrassment of that little scene earlier, he's more curious.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Aelar. But you already heard that.
I'll lean over to Russell and speak in Dwarvish.
Babidi boopy? It's a lot of this.
A good 30% of Dwarvish is
gesture.
This hand gesture.
And oh,
cheers. No, I whisper over to Russell and Dwarvish. Kind of not really caring to be quiet, but whatever, and being Bit GT. Your mother seems like a nice lady.
Did you say that in Dwarvish or Common?
Common. I said
Okay.
that in Common.
Okay.
And I also said your mother seems like a very nice lady. As he just smiles and nods.
Thanks. She's just managed to royally embarrass me. But
I would
that's what the mothers do. Huh?
What good mothers do.
You'll have to excuse Giuseppe Tony. His Dwarvish accent is a little bit thicker.
It's all right, Mr. Thorne.
He comes from a real weird part of the Dwarven kingdoms.
Watch your mouth! Hey!
Not this argument again, gentlemen.
You watch your mouth, you garlic-scented bastard!
You ever been beaten with a gorgonzola?
Aelar's gonna
If you like to keep it
lean
that way,
forward
shut
and
the
Raleigh.
face.
They do this often?
3 days since I've met them. It's fine. They're all talk and no actual I mean, they kind of rough each other. It's fine. It's normal male peacocking. It's fine.
Starts a curse in Dwarvish.
You ever had peacock taste good?
It does taste good.
I make a nice peacock. I make it for you sometime. My real dream is to be a chef. I come on the ram to be a chef.
Yeah. Well, you're about 2 countries over from on.
I'm in the good at maps.
I hope you're better at cooking than geography.
Oh, much better. I know how to cook. I know no maps.
He's a pretty good cook. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy here.
I'm making this dish. It's called how you say is lasagna. It's so good that after you taste it, you actually have to kill yourself because it's so good.
It's always the thing around here. He might not keep you alive, but he'll keep you fed.
Okay, well,
We're gonna feed you so good you're gonna explode all over the wall.
Oh, no. We actually we've backstory inceptioned. We now have to do a flashback episode inside the flashback episode to the 3rd Tony brother.
poor Linguini.
Yeah, Linguini Tony.
Through all that, Pep kind of leans over, grabs Aelar's hand and does the whole real quick and kind of jostles him a little bit and being good to have you with us though. I will say that.
glad you're willing to come. I mean, he kind of does a. You all are taking a hell of a risk. I mean, even more than me.
What's life without some risks, huh?
I'll let you
Especially
in
for-
on a little
I
secret,
high
lad.
fived Giuseppe.
I'll let you in on a little secret, lad. You may not know it, being from the Empire and all. A little too close to see it. But outside of that place, you about can't throw a rock without finding half a dozen people lining up to do anything they can to stick it to those bastards.
And we throw a lot of rocks.
Slap GT on the back, like while laughing, like,
Good.
wholeheartedly.
Rocks and more need to be thrown at them.
Oh, we'll throw plenty at them. Don't worry, dear.
Oh yeah.
GT pulls a big chef knife like out of his. Hey!
A comically large chef knife.
Yeah.
Aelar suddenly thinks of something. Mr. Thorne, I
Oi.
think I can help us with getting in through parts of the governor's place. My father was a locksmith,
Aye.
and he had skeleton keys.
That's much better. Our father just had a skeletons.
One of them.
Aye,
And he did work there.
everybody's got a
Not
father and
just
every
people.
father's got a skeleton, but I'm more interested in these keys about now. You wouldn't happen to have them keys with you then, would you, lad?
Not with me, but they'll be in his shop.
That would just make it too easy now, wouldn't it?
Alright, a mild detour's probably not the worst part. You think we can get to your father's shop without arousing too much trouble? You might have noticed, at least 3/5 of our party ain't exactly gonna blend in polite company.
But we
Within the
created a
inviter.
distraction, Nathaniel. We're very interesting to look at.
Pep and I have gotten away with passing as a normal human. We just stand on each other's shoulders under a big coat.
I mean, I can
It'll work.
I can try to sneak back to the house, get the keys, meet you.
That's not the worst idea. You all know as well as I do that Raxus will have my balls in a vice if we go in there and start smashing things up and making a big spectacle out of it. Supposed to be in and out, nice and quiet.
Nice and quiet, real gentle, like.
I'm really good at quiet. She smiles as if she's clearly not.
Right, then plan's mostly the same. We approach the town and look under the cover of darkness. We'll get into a position. Aelar, you see if you can get in, get them keys from your father's shop, and give us the signal. We'll join you inside the walls. From there,
Okay.
we get to the mansion, get in, get what we need, and get out of Dutch.
Oh, well, try not
Okay.
to die. That's
Yeah.
fine.
That is always the plan, lad.
I like that plan.
As our new mutual acquaintance, Master Zelzeveth, is to be leaving town several hours behind us. By the time we get out with the goods, hopefully he'll be ready and waiting to start making some medicine.
I won't let you down.
I don't think you will.
Be fine.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was starting to look confident
Off
until
camera.
Pep said maybe.
You hear the narrator go, "There's a reason 3 of these people are never seen again."
So the journey takes about 5 days, where it actually takes a little longer than it took you to get out, specifically because you guys travel under darkness, and you find places to hide the wagon and yourselves during the day. So you have a few days to get acquainted with these people. I guess I can give you guys an opportunity over the course of a 5-day period. Does anybody want to have a zoom in on a particular moment.
Yeah, I will just say like I've been planting the seeds here. I think it's pretty obvious of just being like a bit a dwarvish of just like learning. It's like maybe the bits and times of just like looking over at GT and then like looking over at Alar and like just saying some shit and just being like, Alar, come here, come here, come here. And then it's like sitting down in front of GT and being like, GT, this man, dwarf. Dwarf now, one of us, right?
Yes. And first thing we're gonna teach you all of the swear words.
And Aelar just
then-
breaks out in a great big grin.
We opened up like a little bit of like a little book that's gotten like maybe our names like etched into it, like from us as kids, and being like, these are all the words that you could say in front of them. These are all the words you couldn't say, and these are all the words that maybe you shouldn't say. And then
We'll
Don't
start
say
with
this one.
those.
Don't say this one ever.
don't say this. Don't say this. We start like laughing. Like I'm pretty
In fact,
sure.
this one shouldn't even be in here.
Tear out the page and just eat it.
Yeah. Don't ever use that again. You need to never use that one.
Too late, I already read it.
And during those times too, it's like while they're like teaching like with the bits and pieces of that, I feel like Pep and GT are both like though starting to like talk a little bit more fluently and just being like, you know, start talking in Dwarvish a little bit and being like Aelar and being like Aelar, friend of people in Dwarvish, like friend of people. And it's like I start saying that whatever it like Pep starts saying that in Dwarvish and like
Aelar probably mangles it to start, but he starts getting a little better. He does pick up some things fast.
yes. And it's like Pep starts like yeah, there we go. And he's like he kind of like opens up the flap a little bit and like looks out and he's like, you know, me and GT we like to joke around a lot, but it's a big world. Very, I would say, tiny people like all of us are very small specks in this big world. You take what you can, you give what you can. What you're doing, it's worth something. And you know, me and GT out here, we might not be able to give much, but what we can give is time, a little bit of language. He laughs and he just like, he kind of like gives a big old sigh. He's like, you know, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. Till it isn't. But if it's one thing that I feel like me and GT are good at, it's making people laugh. So
Thank you. It's been a while since I've had a reason to laugh.
it's good. Gotta
And
laugh.
GT will be another thing to remember. Something that always bringing people together is a food. And with that, he'll like out of like he'd been like doing stuff the whole time you were talking. Out of nowhere, he would just like put down like it's an antipasta. I'm not gonna come up with something.
It's an antipasta.
I'm not gonna come up with some complicated pun for it.
It's okay.
You know.
Listen, we know that the tradition has been established. You can just call it high fantasy antipasto, and like
Yeah, yeah.
you don't have to explain it any further than that.
This is antipasta. Later we teach you about the pasta. There's a pasta and the antipasta. They fight each other sometimes.
Causes a rift, and then you gotta take care of it.
Dwarven culture, truly a mystery.
And upon that time, we also take out drink. We ask others to come over and eat. And I figured that is the time of being like, of just being like a moment of being like, yes, in the moments of hard times, we can all still get together and being like, this is what we're doing it for. Show each other. This is why we try. Many types of different people that are here sitting just for the same reason. To let people live. And then he kind of just like puts around drinks, pours drinks of some strong dwarvish drink. And then we eat antipasta.
This is a dwarven specialty. We make it out of selfie. They call it Chianti. You put it in your belly.
I knew it was coming, and yet I wasn't ready.
Food to mean the family, and the family mean the food. But do not eat your family. But
Got a point.
Good advice.
All right.
and now we play Louis Prima.
God.
Bam!
He does have an accordion. Canonically,
He does
have
except he
an
does have an
accordion.
accordion.
Why wouldn't he?
This is the night. No.
We have one last person on this heist.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, how about that for
Along-
some backstory?
Along the travel road as well, and Raleigh often is playing with her daggers and knives, just like little tricks and stuff. And when she sees Aelar noticing it, she shows him how to do them and be a bit more dexterous and careful and not get cut while doing it. So it's like party tricks. It's dexterity training for Aelar to help him just as he learns skills with blades as he grows up, because she's been doing it a long time and she's like, no one else to teach, I'll teach this random little kid. Even though to her he's a kid, but
No, he is.
and she's also very old.
Okay.
And you know, as they're getting closer along the travel, Aelar will wake up one night and there'll just be leather bracers in his next to him that look like hers, but she has her sleeves down and he can't tell, and she won't acknowledge any question about it. She just leaves them there.
I don't know why this is where my heart went. I for sure thought you were about to say Aelar wakes up and there's like a dagger stabbed into his pillow next to him.
Nope. Nope. I am the counterbalance to these two other
That's a
people you have
gift.
stuck with.
I do also want to point out that Dogs for Life in chat did say Fanty pasta. Fancy
Very good.
There it is.
God,
This
I
is
hate
why
this.
she
It's terrible.
is my
This
best friend.
it's terrible that this is the way that my reign as DM on this show ends.
Yeah, I was gonna
Dogs
say,
for Life
when-
is in charge.
Chat comes up with a better
Shaq
joke.
came up with a way better joke than I did.
Matt, you know she should always be in charge.
All right, Dogs for Life is we're gonna put Dogs for Life in the credits as the official.
We should do that as a
Official
birthday
Pun
special.
Master
Dogs for
General.
Life. Dogs for Life DMs this group.
but like just as like a disembodied text.
Yeah, just as a chat. Yeah,
Yep.
just via chat.
It'll be like those original games that you had in like DOS and the like.
Yeah.
Just line appears.
Yeah.
There's a
Turn
room.
left.
There's a chest. There's an orc.
And it was the single greatest bloodbath in Dungeons and Dragons history.
Aelar now wearing a set of bracers, and he keeps glancing over it in Raleigh, who has a hell of a poker face. Is a little more prepared, and now has a much larger vocabulary of foul language than he did a week ago.
Alrighty. Then I think the night comes that you guys get yourselves in position. The cart stops. Thorn stops the cart in like maybe like 25 yards into the tree line. Outside where like the forest breaks into like the open land where you can kind of see the town is ahead of you. So you're maybe 100 yards from the like outskirts of the first of the quarantine camps, and then a little ways beyond them is the first outer wall. You can see like some of the lights of the town over the walls, and then sort of higher up near the center of the town you can see the governor's estate in its own sort of walled area. The other three begin like getting their gear and stuff ready. There's a lot of like wrapping wrapping like scabbards in cloths to keep them from clinking. There's applying like blade black to metal, various other stealth tropes taking place.
Put up to cover my horns.
Thorn kind of brings you a little bit away from the wagon as the other three are getting ready, and he just kind of like looks out over the town, and he says, "All right, lad. Remember what we discussed?"
Get in, get to the shop, find the keys, get to the mansion, signal you.
He nods and he says,
I think if the southwest gate, if you're trying to go around, you might have a little better luck there. That one's not normally manned. Yeah, problem with one of the gate hinges, well, what can I say? It's a small town. They aren't, and they don't pay for good stuff here.
He says, "Oh, you don't worry about us, lad. We've got more than enough experience at this type of thing. Get what you need. We'll get into the main wall. We'll meet you at the rendezvous point.
Okay.
We can head up to the estate from there." And he like kind of grabs you up 1 second before he goes, "Oi, I promised your mother I weren't to let nothing happen to you. Take care of yourself. And if something goes wrong, when I get in here, you ain't need to be anybody's hero. You run.
Okay.
Go." And he gives you a little push.
Yeah. He starts sneaking up toward the town, giving the quarantine camps a bit of a wide berth because if there are any lights from them, he doesn't want to be seen.
Okay.
Also, that's where there'll be a couple of guards.
Sure.
Anyway.
Roll a stealth check. It's flat d20.
13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you managed to make it up to the town. Kind of like weave your way through the the outer perimeters of the quarantine camps. You definitely like can hear as you sort of like get close to them and are like moving away. You hear like some not great sounds coming from inside the camp. So some of the like the lamenting sounds of like the grieving. You hear like the occasional like sort of like of the like the gravely ill. You do see as you pass one of them, there are no longer guards posted in front of the camps. They've basically just been like chained shut to keep anybody from getting out. You are able to get into the town relatively easy. You see that there is a light on in the gatehouse that you approach, but there's nobody outside. You think there's probably someone or someone's in there, but like nobody's standing watch over the gate, and like it's open. Like you just walk in basically.
Then I do the old stealth routine of get down low, sneak past the gatehouse underneath the window, and hope not to be noticed. And once inside, stay off the road where there might be a torch or two lit to help people see, and head for the house.
Alrighty. You this time of night, there's really not many people on the streets, so you manage to avoid running into anybody as you make your way through. You get back to the house, no problem. and you you do notice that like the door is closed, but it's like it's not quite right in the hinge. And you see evidence around the door frame that is like the door frame is like slightly splintered. It looks like this door was like battered in, and then was like put back in place.
But it's dark.
It's dark, yes.
Okay. Of course they would have broken in. All right. Since there's no other way through, in the door.
Okay. You open it. It's sort of like as you open it, it kind of like you have to hold it,
Oh.
because it's like
Yep.
not properly attached. You find,
Oh.
but you manage to get into the building.
Oh, he's starting to use those dwarven swears already, but it's a lot of whispered versions of them. He's going to well, this is his house. He knows it, blindfolded, so he even in full darkness he heads for his late father's workshop.
Good.
And
Make an investigation check.
15.
With a 15, you move through your house with relative ease. In the darkness, you kind of like, you take it a little slow and steady. You bump into like a chair that is not like pushed into the table. It's like kind of in what is in the middle of the floor. Is like, bump into a chair briefly, but you push it back. You make your way through, and you are able to find your way to the workshop, which is you kind of like you sort of like feeling around in the space.
Yeah. To remind myself where everything is.
Okay. You don't get the sense that anything in here has been disturbed in any way. You kind of like things seem to be where you think they should be. It does not take you long to find the set of skeleton keys that you are looking for.
All right. He wraps the skeleton keys up in a bunch of rags to keep them from rattling. He's about to leave. He stops for a moment. He goes into his sister's room.
Okay.
And using whatever dim light is coming from windows, he picks up a small keepsake, a small box that she had.
Okay.
And he stuffs some rags in that, wraps it up in rags, puts it in his pocket, and then tries to exit as quietly as he got in.
Okay. Make a perception check as you re-exit the house.
17. You dice are lucky.
Okay. So that's 17. You are exiting the house. You are like shimmying the door back into place as quietly as you can. You hear footfalls like round the corner as you like kind of like get the door back into place. And you have like kind of a moment to decide what you're going to do. Like as you to kind of give you the visual of the scene, like you're essentially like on the front step, closing the door. Like whoever this is like rounding the corner. There's really nowhere for you to like duck behind anything or anything like that.
Does it sound like armored footfalls or just?
You just 17.
Mm-hmm.
You hear like the clink of like a piece of armor, accompanying like the boot fall that you hear. So basically like a figure like rounds the corner, and they are no more than like 10 feet from you, but you have like your perception check gives you like that moment of like your spidey sense catches them right as they emerge, so like you have a moment to like make a decision to do something, whereas like this person has not registered you yet, but like will in the next heartbeat.
Shoot. I'm going to tip the door so it begins to fall, and I'm going to try and run the other direction.
Okay. You do that. So you like tip the door and then just run. There is a momentary hesitation as like this kind of like maneuver causes like a second of confusion as this person like goes like huh. And then they sort of come to sort of like the most obvious conclusion, and they go, "Luther, thief, stop right there!" And you actually recognize the voice as they like call out to you. You recognize this as Phelan, the guard who you spoke to in front of one of the quarantine camps before you departed. He you hear him begin to like pursue you.
I turn and
Oh, hang on one second.
so chat. How about that sports team?
Sports ball.
Go team? Question mark.
No go team. Hope the team loses.
Oh, chat. It is a crime. Google mouse disk crime. We're in a pause mode for our DM to come back to the screen.
Grilling dead air for.
I mean,
I
I
guess
will
it's a
say,
good time to use the bathroom.
go. I will say I got way too excited when I put two and two together and I looked down and my tiefling horns were there. I'm like, oh, tiefling for the episode. Attach his horns really quickly. Like, should not have been that thrilled with
Yeah,
my random
unfortunately, of all the assortment of hats I have here, I don't have a chef hat. Oh man.
I'm disappointed in you.
For shame.
Yeah.
You
You-
have failed this city.
I haven't needed it. I have an extreme assortment of hats.
Well, now you know what you need to get.
Yeah. For it to never come in handy again.
You never know.
You could see a recurrence of him in later episodes.
Yeah, we'll see if Giuseppe makes it through the flashback.
Challenge from chat: make one with paper. Do it.
That would also require me to have paper.
Origami. Tall cylinder shape. Make it simple. When the crafty person in chat tells you a simple way to do it, and yet it's still complicated for us plebes, it's a thing.
Okay. So quickly, we can finish this scene, and then we have to take a impromptu break for an undisclosed amount of time. / maybe that'll be the end of the session tonight. The The dripping sound from our ceiling has just restarted.
The mystery dripping is
ooh.
back.
The mystery dripping has returned, so I
Crap.
just called
Yeah,
the plumber
no,
to be
that-
like, "Can you come over right now and listen to it?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute."
Okay.
Hey,
No,
come
that's
look at
fine.
my wall right now.
So,
We can run.
Aelar had rounded the corner.
Everybody's
He,
dead, the
he
end.
recognized the voice. He comes to a stop. He as Phalor. What's his name? Balin rounds the corner. Aelar's pulling his hands up. Not a thief. It's my house.
Aelar Cabot? What are you doing breaking into your house in the middle of the night?
I can't stay here. I wanted something at Bruce. That's it. And I'm gone.
Make a
And Aelar, Aelar, very, 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 very slowly, because obviously he's probably got a sword and everything. He pulls out the box. Persuasion?
do it with advantage when you show him the box.
Okay.
Plot twist: Phelan was in love with Drew.
I hope not. She was only like 12.
Oh damn! Never mind. Take it back.
Plot twist. He was definitely not that at all.
Plot twist, Phelan is also 12. It's
Yeah,
so
okay,
it's
good.
all okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well,
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, Phelan is an adult man and had no particular feelings one way or another for Aelar's sister.
I forgot she was that much younger.
Yeah. 18.
And
Thank
18.
you for the advantage. It made a lot of difference.
He like looks at the box, he looks at you, and he's like, "Okay."
Thank you.
And as you like kind of turn to walk away, and he says, "Cabot,
Yes.
I'm sorry about all this. The
Me too.
governor, he's out of control. Just go."
Take care of yourself and your family, Faye. And Aelar is gonna sneak out and probably have a minor panic attack as he's going to join the others.
You so you hear like Phelan turn and go the other way. You continue to walk. You like sneak. You come like around the corner, and like continue to head to like the rendezvous point. Within like 4 seconds of you walking down this alley, Thorn like emerges out of like somewhere, like up next to you, and he's like putting a hand crossbow back in his coat. And he goes, "I trust that the way you played that is the smartest way to have gone. You don't think he's going to cause trouble for you?"
No, I knew him. He thinks everything that's happened here is crazy too. I don't think he doesn't believe like the governor does.
He says, as before you guys like emerge out of this alley, he kind of stops and he puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Let me tell you something, lad. A lesson that I learned a long time ago, and a lesson that I think might be important for you to learn too. Just because he's not a zealot doesn't mean he's not guilty. Complacency in the face of this kind of evil, it's not an excuse. You do well to remember that."
Once again, Aelar's white as a sheet, and he just kind of does the scared nod thing.
Sorry, I got distracted by chat posting links on how to make an easy peasy chef hat for some reason. Okay. So he leads you on to meet with the others. comes around. You guys come into like a back alley where the other three, Pep, GT, and in Raleigh are all waiting. He nods at them. He says, "Turns out my concerns were unfounded. I need not have followed the lad after all. He had everything well in hand."
And very carefully, he's going to pull out the rag bundle and unwrap it. And there's only there are 2 keys in there. These, I know, will unlock things in there. I don't know if they'll unlock all the doors, but they'll definitely unlock a bunch of them in there.
GT, you've got a face like you're about to make a one-liner there.
No, it's
You
because
wanna
I just did that to my lights.
Oh,
Turn it red, green, and white.
oh, I see.
Oh my god.
Wait, it looked like you were about to say something.
I was like, I wonder if I could do this, and then I did.
I didn't notice the lights. Okay, we get the
And he'll hold them out to Thorn.
He like pushes him back. He goes, "You hold on to him, lad. 'Cause I wouldn't know how to use him if I got to him."
Okay.
Right. Well, you take point then, boy. Let's get moving. Lead on to the estate.
Gardens were over toward this side, and he's gonna start sneaking. Probably his head is whipping around like the girl from The Exorcist, because he is.
As you begin to move,
Nervous
like
cat.
Thorn turns to Enrale and he's like, "Up you go," and like points to you to like second story to like the rooftops.
Yep. She goes.
So you watch her like a cat, like she just like climbs a drain pipe and like gets onto the roof of the building. You can like occasionally see her silhouette like following along slightly behind you as you make your way down the.
Rolled an 18 for whatever that's worth.
Nice.
Just as a thematic addition to this, I can actually roll a dice tonight.
Aelar probably mutters to himself, "I have got to learn how to do that."
GT and Pep, he like gives a nod behind, and they kind of like back off a half a block behind the two of you, and then he sort of like follows shortly behind. Make a perception check, Aelar.
15.
With a 15, it is very quiet in the town. Unusually quiet. It is late at night, but like a significant portion of the population is gone. Either locked up or fled, or succumbed to the illness. So it's like deathly quiet. And one thing that strikes you is that like, despite the sort of like stockiness and overall like density of the two dwarven brothers, and like in Raleigh like leaping from like rooftop to rooftop, and and Thorn like is a big guy next to you, like it strikes you like how little noise any of them are making. Like the thing that you hear the most in like any of this surrounding is like your own footfalls and your own like breathing and stuff like that, as you like make your way closer and closer to the estate.
He's probably then trying to make an effort to not breathe anywhere near as loud, and probably can't do much about his footfalls, but
You guys reach the outer wall of the estate. At least from where you are, let's say you can see like two of the gatehouses on like the northern and like western sides. They are both manned at this point. You got lucky before when you managed to like slip in. There are guards in front of them now.
Aelar's gonna glance up at if there is a moon. He's gonna look up at it to try and get a gauge of what time of night it is.
You're probably looking at something like 11:45 p.m.
No, I think the shift had already changed. Those folks aren't. They're new. They're fresh. He always had the governor always had somebody for someone fresh come in for the overnight hours.
Thorin kind of like looks at the guardhouses, he looks at the walls, and he kind of looks at you and says, "I will handle this. Hang back a second." And he like makes a series of like gestures, and you see like the four of them move out of the alleyway. And as they do, that is where we'll end our session for now. I'm gonna shut down the stream if we don't come back. It was lovely having you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. All of those other things. I have to rush through this because a plumber just walked into my house. If this is quick, we'll come back. Maybe we'll do more streaming. If not, we'll see you next week. But sorry for the weird cliffhanger. Gotta go deal with my wall with water in it. Bye.